Greetings. I'm Traylon Malone, the Northwest Regional Priest for the Diocese of North Carolina. I was called to the ministry of Regional Priest in September of 2008. When I looked at the ministry description of the position of Regional Priest, I saw the potential of being part of a vision that would lead to the changing the way we do church in the Diocese of North Carolina. The vision of Bishop Curry and those who drafted the regional plan was innovative and forward-looking. It was a vision that would focus on the mission of the church. No one knew if the regional concept would work or exactly what impact it would have on the ministry in the Northwest region. The comment made by several folks was, "We are going to fly this plane and build it at the same time." The ride for me has been exciting and sometimes frightening. Overall, however, it has been first class. Being part of the first regional team has helped to shape how the other regions will do ministry in order to meet the needs of each region. So what is it about being a regional team that has been exciting? As I said, when I first interviewed for this position, I told the search committee that I would spend my first year meeting people, using the community organizing model of building relationships. And that is what I did. I visited clergy and leadership in all the congregations of the regions, and I preached at most of the congregations and met with leaders to learn about what the good things they were doing in their congregations. I heard stories of ministry and work at the local level which were inspiring, and many of these ministries occur with little fanfare, but are done by faithful followers of Jesus who do so because they are faithful in mission. As leadership started to talk about ministries in their congregations, they began to realize the strengths they have, and more often than not, the strengths of the congregation, when articulated, began to then shape how they would do ministries in the future and how they would face challenges of ministry. For example, there's a small congregation in my region that focuses on outreach. As the leadership in this congregation focused on how they do outreach, it became clear to them that they are unique in many respects. So instead of trying to be all things for all people, this congregation started talking about partnering with other congregations to do outreach and shift their resources to focus on what they do best. Part of my ministry involves working with leaders and clergy to promote healthy congregations. It has been said that there will always be conflict in congregations. It's how we manage conflict that makes a difference. So my approach as regional priest is to be with leaders and clergy in order to be proactive in how they make decisions and how they live with each other in community. Being proactive means being transparent in conversations. As a new rector was called to a parish in my region, we met on a weekly basis in order to navigate the waters of that transition. It became apparent very quickly that there were dynamics that could have sabotaged that call. Through coaching and talking, the new rector, and by meeting on a regular basis with the leadership of the congregation, there has been an appreciation of the gifts of all involved. The rector is thriving in that congregation and is able to focus on ministry. The laity is now focusing on vision and mission. At another congregation, I have facilitated conversation among the members during a difficult time with the rector. The conversations have helped members see the patterns of behavior that have caused difficulties in the past. The leadership of this congregation is determined not to let those patterns be a template for their future. Clergy coaching involves being part of a colleague group, being around my colleagues, and while I readily admit not to have all the answers, the regional team and I are available to find the answers. We have become a presence in the region, and rather than making for another layer of bureaucracy, the regional team has been able to be nimble and proactive in making ministry happen. In one instance, a rector of a congregation called me with a concern about communications. The situation could have ended in a huge misunderstanding and further separation from the diocese, but instead, the regional team was able to find an answer quickly and direct the rector to the person who could solve the problem, who could help further. In the end, the trust level among all involved was raised, and communication became clearer. In addition to meeting with leadership, I have facilitated vestry retreats for several congregations, and the focus is always leadership development. How can leaders become better leaders? How leaders function in a certain size congregation makes a difference. No matter what the size the congregation is, the need for leadership development is vital. The regional team knows the dynamics of a congregation because we have been on the ground. We have been among the people we serve. Therefore, intentional shaping of the leadership to fit the congregation shapes the ministry and the mission of every community of faith. One of the goals of regionalization is to bring congregations together in order to network and have conversations about the rewards and the challenges of ministry in the region. In keeping with this goal, I invited the leadership from small congregations to meet for conversation. That first conversation happened in the spring of 2009. I purposely chose leaders of small congregations for the first group to meet because of the 42 worshiping communities in the Northwest region, 16 of them have fewer than 90 Sunday average attendance. Many of our small congregations do not have full-time clergy. At our first conversation session, leaders talked about the rewards and challenges of being a small congregation. As one participant put it, I thought we were the only one who struggled and celebrated being a small congregation. Since that meeting, we have met several more times, and the common issues which we are focusing on as of this writing are identity, leadership, and resources. The conversation and resource sharing among the small congregations continue. I've invited leaders from larger congregations and mid-sized congregations to meet for conversation. Networking has begun, and mutual ministry is on the horizon. For many in the region, the diocese has been those folks over in Raleigh. Furthermore, more often than not, the feeling has been that the only contact folks have with the diocese is when there is trouble in the parish or when there is transition. The regional team works in tandem with congregations to be a presence of the diocese. We are all one. The ministry description of the regional priest for the Northwest region included the following statement. We will know these teams have been successful when the clergy and lay leaders of the diocese are more knowledgeable about the ministries, strengths, and needs of the region, are more empowered by and connected to the bishop and the staff, become more collaborative, and develop interconnected ministries within the regions. The tasks are not finished. They are ongoing and will be organic in the future. Each region will shape how the regional team works according to the needs of the congregations and clergy in the region. In the end, our mission and ministry can only become stronger because of the regional teams. God's reconciling work in the world through Jesus Christ and by the power of the Holy Spirit will be dynamic, powerful, and life-changing. And I am honored to be part of that ministry, now and in the future.